They use you. You on the blade. That's
This is you on the blade.
It's an institution.
bro.
It's an institution, bro.
They work the dog mess out of you.
He said,
What you heard? Yeah. What you heard? Huh? What you heard? You can't hear a motherfucking thing.
hey, yo, what's up, people? It's your boy Tizzle from Pod Talk by Tizzle. I'm here with Skinny
Yeah.
and Deante Muhammad.
What's up? How y'all doing?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good.
Yeah, man. Hey, y'all know what this is, man. Sis Code 7. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment.
Run
Do all that. If you have any music, make sure you send it to Gmail, code7gmail.com. If you have any way you want them to follow you at, bro, go ahead and let them know.
You go on Instagram and Facebook, Deante Muhammad. Is just plain and simple. Ain't nothing fancy about it.
For sure, man. For y'all who don't know, man, this is my little big cousin. You know what I mean? I've been knowing this dude his whole life, man. And I just want to say, man, as far as on morals and standards, one of the realest, most solid people I've ever met in my life. One of the people that, if he tell you something, he mean it. You know what I mean? Like, you never gotta question this dude word. You know, like one of the people you be like, man, I'm gonna do this at this time. It's gonna get done every time, man. So definitely, hats out and kudos to that. But today we got a lot going on. We gonna do this show, man. This show is gonna be called Breaking Bread. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we also have some bean pies here.
Yes, sir.
I do want to say this. I think that the name Bean Pie was the worst marketing mistake ever. For real, bro. Because when people hear bean pie, a lot of people don't want to taste it. Like, who wants to eat a bean pie? You feel me?
Facts.
But they don't know, like you don't know yet, that these motherfuckers is the truth. You know what I'm saying? But before we get to that, though, man, I just want to get to your upbringing. Let's just talk about, you know, we from the West Coast, though, so to hear people from Islam, like, you know, Muslims and stuff, it's like, it's different.
Yeah.
You know, it stands out a little bit more out here. So how did that transaction happen?
Well, you know, I grew up in two neighborhoods, the States, and then probably like 5 minutes going south. I grew up in Valley View. My mama's side was from Valley View. Dad's side from the States.
Yeah.
So my mother's little brother, he was in the Nation, and it was funny. My mama told him, "Don't come talk to me until I turn 18." so when I turned 18, man, he was on my head, bro, and just like everybody else, ignorant to Islam. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't love Jesus. Y'all blow up people. You know what I'm saying? So I was going through what everybody else was saying, and then he was just consistent with me.
Yeah.
He'd offer me food, offer me bean pie. I was the same way, man. I don't want no beans in my pie. Like, who does that? I'm thinking like, you know, pinto beans or something, mix it in, like, that don't go together. So I used to say I'm cool, and man, he chased me for like a year.
Yeah.
Every weekend he'll call me, "Hey man, what you doing?" So, "Hey man, I started running out of excuses."
Yeah.
"Oh man, I got basketball practice." "Oh man, I'm going to church." You know what I'm saying? So one day he called me, and he was just real passionate. I said, "You know what? I'm gonna give it one good time." You know what I'm saying? He like, "Man, bring all your homeboys." Man, Minister Farrakhan talking, and he was talking about the educational system, and this was in 2008. And so when I went on a Sunday, man, I listened to him for the first time, and you know how they say, you know, real recognize real.
Yeah.
And so I knew, like, the passion he was speaking behind the words, he was sincere. And I never heard of
How old was you at this time?
Man, I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 18.
And another thing I want to also mention, like, you was like bred up a ball player, like.
Yeah.
Let's put that out there, because that's a lot of people's life. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, like, that's their
Kind
way
of
out.
forced basketball.
Yeah.
Like, it was force fed to you. It was like,
Oh man.
you too tall to not play.
Facts.
Every angle too. So it was coming, especially my daddy. He was living through me.
How was that though, growing up though, man, and everybody just putting this expectation on you just because of your size? I always wondered that, you know what I mean?
I was real silly growing up, so you already know.
Yeah.
I ain't take nothing serious. And then I love to challenge people. So like being on the court, I always like creating my own atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? So back then, bro, Vegas was like, if you was 6'4" and taller, you was on the block. Like you didn't bring the ball up, you didn't shoot the ball, and I felt like I was going against the grain before there was, Kevin Durant and all them.
You was always shooting. We used to argue about this shit all the time. I'd be like, go to the paint. That nigga want to shoot the jump, but he had a jumper though.
Man,
he had a jumper.
Man, it was a lot.
So
a lot of people in Vegas who. Like, I felt like my mind was, like, ahead. You know what I'm saying? Because I was going against all coaches. Man, you can't bring the ball. Why can't I?
It's cheating like that.
It's crazy because I remember, like, coming up with you, being around you. Tizzle played ball, too. Yeah. And then Tizzle, your big cousin, he better than you, but then now you getting taller than him. Yeah. And then it was always that. I remember you and Tizzle playing against each other. It was like, you too tall to be this weak.
Look, I was
Why
older.
you taking these shots?
Look, see, I was older, right? Yeah. I was older and I was slick.
Right.
With the ball, like, he taller, but I'm older. So I could put the ball in the basket, you know what I'm saying? Until, like, after he got to a senior, it's like, nigga, I'm doing this shit. I'm about to go to college. It's about to get real for me.
But I remember them moments. So how was that being like? For Vegas, you're huge. Yeah. Right? Like, if you go down south, it's a few niggas your height. You damn near average.
Absolutely.
When you go to the college. But for Vegas, you huge. Yeah, like, it's like, we don't see nobody like you. How was that part of it?
I feel you get cheated. I feel like a lot of motherfuckers in Vegas, right, with height, they get cheated out of learning the game because, like you said, they putting you on the block. When you go into the league, nigga, you a small guard. Yeah. You go to the league. Out here, you playing center. Absolutely. So you're not learning how to hold the rock and do your shit. Then you go into college and then now you a guard again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The transition has to be confusing. I always felt like that about sports in the city.
It definitely, coaches back then, they kept you in the box out here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I knew I could, like, my pops. Like, he'll work with me on my game, and he's like, bro, you got to learn how to handle the rock. So we do ball handling drills, shooting drills. He'll put money behind me to go get, like, professional trainers and stuff like that. So, like, it was almost like a confidence killer out here. You feel me? And then I didn't gain confidence until I went off to, like, the 5-star camps. You know what I'm saying? The big time camps. And I'm like, nobody know me here. So they don't know if I can bring the ball up or not. So I'm shooting threes. I'm bringing the ball up. I'm doing no-look passes. Yeah. And so, like, every camp I went to, I got top sleeper. And what top sleeper is, who is this guy? But he can hoop. Yeah. And I got that at every camp I ever went to. And, like, we had NBA coaches, like, man, you work on this. I see you at the next level. And you come back here, and it's like, you got to go against the grain. You know what I'm saying? And I got some horror stories.
So with you growing up, you know what I mean, everybody basically just figured you're going to play sports. You know what I mean? But you was always hella smart, too. Yeah. You was always intelligent, you know what I'm saying? You always had a high grade point average. So, like, I felt like you always felt like you was bigger than just sports, you know what I mean? Yeah. You was always, like, kind of, like, business orientated, like, taking chances. Yeah. You know? Definitely. So I remember when I first heard I was locked up, whatever, when you first became a Muslim, whatever, right? Well, they act like this nigga joined a vampire cult or something. They like, he a Muslim, because he was writing me in there. He would write me and shit. So he like, man, I gotta. He's the first time he ever said it. Well, the second time, other times when you had talked to your pops or whatever. Yeah. But you had wrote me, like, I need to holler at you, and I called you. You was like, man, look, I'm joining Islam. This is what I see. You had already had it mapped out. I told my parents and my grandparents, I'm like, listen, that little nigga nosy. He asked a million questions. I guarantee you, whoever turned him out got a earful. I guarantee you, he asked 1,000 questions. He gonna decipher anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
He not a gullible dude. He was never that gullible young cat that you'd be like, hey, let's all do this. Let's do it. You know what I mean? He wasn't the person people were like, why we gonna do this? What we gonna get from this? He kind of always been like that. You feel me?
Man,
When did you get to the moment where you was like, because you say you got into the nation around 18.
Yeah.
So when did you get to the moment when you was like, I could probably do this sport thing, but I don't really.
I ain't feeling it.
Yeah.
It's when I started going through I started seeing the politics in college, and when I'm studying, so I stopped going to church, started going to the mosque my end of senior year. So then I went off to school. So then I stopped going, but I was still reading the books on my own. So it started making me think a lot more.
Yeah.
So my first college I went to was Texas Southern University. And it was
What that was like seeing that many like black
bro,
people.
listen.
You know, in Vegas we don't see black people like that. We think we do.
Bro,
We really
that's
don't
when
see
I
them.
fell in love with black people because they came from I wasn't, like you say, in Vegas, it's not like that.
Nah.
Man, it's black people that came from everywhere. Deep from the East Coast, all over the South, West Coast, Northeast, you know what I'm saying?
You see every
Everywhere,
shade.
out of the country, you know what I mean? So you seeing like all these black people and they getting along, you feel me?
Dope.
And so I started seeing that. But when it came to the basketball situation, it was this dude named Tony Harvey. He was our head coach there. And it was a lot of politics that I started seeing. It wasn't how good you were. It was like how cool you are with the coaches. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
deep.
I wasn't kissing no tail.
Nah, yeah, I really,
So I used to get into it. I used to get into it with the coaches a lot.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when I feel like you degrading me as a human being. I always spoke up for myself. I used to get in trouble for it.
Right.
And then when I found out, when you're on full scholarship, you get what is called a Pell Grant money.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to last you the whole semester. It's about 10 bands.
Okay.
So this dude bought a 4 duplex condo. It was like 4 different places. All of them had 3 rooms each. He made it mandatory that he bought it in foreclosure. He made it mandatory for us to stay in there. We had to give him our Pell Grant money. And it was illegal. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So we broke the whole year, you know what I'm saying? They just cashed out. Think about it, it's 15 different people. You got 10 bands from everybody. You just came
cashed
all
out.
the way up. You know what I'm
Yes, sir.
saying? And so I dealt with that, and I'll get into it. I'll get kicked out of practice. And so that started creating the momentum. Like, man, I'm cool on it. I'm cool on basketball. Yeah, I went from Texas to Alaska. That's why I discovered like racism is real.
Let's pick it up in Alaska. Let's talk about Alaska.
For real.
You went
Goes
from
down.
Vegas to Alaska.
Yeah,
That's from heat to cold.
Boy,
Real
how
cold.
did that happen?
man.
How your body reacts to that type of thing?
So I was real cool with one of the coaches. His name was Coach Jones, and he had a partner he was cool with that was going up there to coach. And he was like, look, man, you're a great person. It's a D2 school. He'll give you a scholarship right now with my word. I'm like,
Damn.
shit. My mindset is, well, nobody in my family been to Alaska. I want to say I'm the first one that did it.
Yeah.
So shit, okay, cool.
Right.
School free. And it was in the coldest part, a place called Fairbanks. And Fairbanks is the coldest, like negative 76 degrees in the wintertime.
Damn.
And then not only that, in the wintertime,
So do y'all come outside if it's that cold?
bro, they out there, listen.
My nigga, it gets 70 degrees in Vegas, and I'm out here
7
freezing.
Wait, I ain't never felt 7 degrees.
Bro, 70.
I said 70. It gets to
Oh.
70 degrees, and I'm out here freezing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
listen.
Oh,
You had white people out there. It's a sign at Fairbanks, right?
They different.
It showed the temperature. It'll say negative 76. They'll run out their car in the bikini.
Yeah,
Or the dudes with no shirt on, some swim trunks,
Yeah.
take a picture, and then run back in the car.
Yeah, they on different kind of time, man. That's one thing we know about, like, no disrespect, man, but white people, they take different kind of chances than us, man. Like, when it comes to like shit like that, we ain't on that. I don't want to be cold because cold make you feel vulnerable. When you're cold, you shiver up. Like who wants to be like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you was doing that, how's playing ball like
bro,
that?
Listen,
it's that cold.
Man, you adapt. You know what I'm saying? I remember the first day of school was negative 10 degrees. I walked outside. I tried to take a deep breath. I choked. And so I turned around, went back in my dorm, and said, I ain't going to school today. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, in the wintertime, the sun came up for 3 hours a day. And we had basketball practice.
Too. Is it really dark for
bro,
like 6
we had
months
basketball practice for that 3 hours, so I never seen the sun in the wintertime, bro. Unless, we went outside to run or something.
It's like you was in the army.
It was a whole different world up there, bro, for real. And basketball wasn't the top dogs up there. It was the hockey players.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? So it was me, a brother from Chicago, another brother from Indiana, and then another brother from Memphis. So we clicked up fast. You know what I'm saying?
3 niggas.
And so it's 4 of us, and we wanted to make our presence known. So we went to the hockey house. You know what I'm saying? They had their little kickback or whatever, and listening to country music and all that. We bust up in there like, what's up? Like a movie, the music stopping, everybody looking at us like what y'all doing here? And so, man, that was different, bro. I really seen white people in a different light out there. You feel me?
Yeah. When y'all went into the the hockey thing or whatever, what happened?
Oh, okay. So, we all over 6'2". Mm-hmm. And so they had the hockey captain come up there. He like, dude, man, listen, bro, we don't want no problems. Y'all welcome here, dude. We got booze over there. Yeah. He was like, man, as long as you don't create no problem, we good. Cause we got word, like, they was telling the females, cause white girls attracted to brothers. That's just what it is. Yeah. So he was letting them know, like, we run this school. We was getting word. So we were just bored. We was like, hey, man, let's go in their house. So let's run up in there. We took a cab. But no, it ended up being cool, man. And we messed with their girls and everything. And then we was like, you know what? Man, let's go back to the house, bro. Yeah. But it's crazy. We met some native cats that stayed in the mountains. Like, we had some teammates that took us to their village, bro. And you talking about driving up a mountain with no rails. Like, you turn 2 inches to the left, you down the mountain.
What?
And man, bro, they got some brothers up there, bro. You feel? They look just like us. You know what I'm saying? And then that was pretty cool, man. Like
some real natives.
Some real natives, bro. Got like pet wolves and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Bro, it was something to experience, bro. And
they had wolves in them.
Yeah, the brothers used to call them females that was, looked like they used to call them Pocahontas. They really look like the cartoon Pocahontas. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, it was amazing. We met the chief. He opened up the whole village to us, like whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? Gave us a whole house. Like, stay in this house, man. Whatever y'all need, you're welcome. Welcome home type
It's
situation.
crazy how welcoming some other people be to us. See, we only get what we get. That's why I tell people they need to travel, man.
Definitely.
You need to travel, man, because it expands your mind.
Even when it come to, because at this time you still studying, right? You still studying.
Yes, sir.
To experience the different levels of, I don't even say religion, because natives is real spiritual.
Yes, sir.
Just to be a part of experiencing that though, like, right. Because everything is so positive. To experience the spiritual side of it with your teammates or whatever that's native and all that. How was that? Because that's a different atmosphere than Vegas. We don't get none of that. We don't get nothing that's true, like true spirituality. We don't get.
Right.
How was
they don't
that?
Promote it. They don't promote it here. There's not money here. It's called Sin City for a reason.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? that ain't no money in that. You know what I'm saying? But it opened my eyes up to you compare to how you live and then how other people live, and it almost humbles you. You know what I'm saying? Because you be thinking you got it bad, and you looking like they gotta go get water out of a river. You know what I'm saying? They gotta wash their clothes in this river.
Every day.
In order to eat, they got to make fires. They can't go cut a stove on. You know what I'm saying?
100.
So it make you like damn, you know, it make you respect life.
And they accustomed to it though. Like
that's nothing to them.
They're not even tripping about
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Nah.
Exactly.
You can't miss something you never had.
Facts.
So you realize how spoiled you really are.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I mean, you know, it just created.
They kind of fake spoil us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of fake spoiled.
Like,
you know what I mean?
You put one
like,
of us in
it
that.
looked good, but I don't know. I can't really say we kind of got it a little tough, man. You know, we can get blasted.
But the crazy thing is, when you learn how to get out your comfort zone, like go experience, like the body automatically, the mind know how to adapt, bro. You gonna figure it out.
100.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. That's why I always tell people, like, it's crazy here. I'm like, man, I would figure it out. Wherever you drop me off in the world, bro, I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna live. If they the most treacherous niggas in the world, I'm gonna be the treacherous. I guarantee it. I'm leaving out this motherfucker.
No,
you
real
feel
talk.
me? That's just how it is. Like,
you gotta
or I'm gonna be the
learn that.
coolest. You feel me? If I gotta learn martial arts to leave off a mountain one day,
Right.
believe me, I'm gonna be up there figuring this shit out. I'm gonna get back home, man. If I'm breathing, you feel me? But yeah, so it's another thing I want to touch on too, man. Before I skip my mind, man, you also wrote a book.
Yeah.
What was that like, and where did that come about?
Oh man.
And the name of it, let them know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got a book coming out soon. I'm working on right now. It's called Dehumanized to Human. And basically just studying our people, man. And like I said, just having that, people call it the third eye, just being consciously awakened to stuff that you really didn't look at before. And I study the condition, and it's like people become robotic. You know what I'm saying? Like they get stuck in routine every day. Like get up, go to work, go to school, come home, go to the grocery store, do this, get on the internet. And it's the same thing every day.
Yeah.
And they don't know they doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Automatic. Like sometimes you be driving, you go to a destination, you ain't even thought about it. Because you go there all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring a light to it.
Yeah, that's
You know what
real.
I'm saying? Like, bro, have you ever thought about thinking this way? You know what I'm saying? Do you ever consciously write out your day? You know what I'm saying? Like, or do you just routine, I gotta do this, do this, do this, that you don't even think about it? It's just one thing after another. Like, teaching people how to think again. You know what I'm saying?
When doing all that, what's like teaching your kids? What's the conversation with your kids? Because are they going to school, or is it homeschool, or what are they doing?
It's a school out here in Vegas. We found it on Facebook through a friend. It's the only black private school in Vegas.
I thought
And they
told
ranked,
me that.
and they ranked in the nation. It's called Anderson Academy Math and Science.
Okay.
And we went to the school. We did a little tour, and they had, when I walked in, it was good atmosphere, good energy, good vibes, and I seen nothing but our people on the wall. So that thing, it's like my children see themselves. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good sign. And then when I spoke to the teacher, he was telling me some things that resonated with me. Like, he said, man, if your child is in kindergarten and he could do 4th, 5th, 6th grade work, I'm going to give it to him. He's like, the mind is infinite. Ain't no age limit of what they can do. When he told me that, I said, yeah, my children got to be in this school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
this what they need.
Oh, no,
I'm going to pay every dime because, bro, you're not going to get that in the public, school system.
Not at all. We all been in the public school system.
Yeah, so
Yeah, for real.
if you don't got no strong will in there, you know you gonna fall victim.
Yeah, for real. You gotta be exceptional. You gotta be exceptional. For real.
Yeah, I beat the system. I cheated all through high school, middle school. You know what I'm saying? And, like, man, ain't nobody take school for real.
Yeah,
Right.
Not out here. At least not with me.
For real. No, for real. Coming up in Vegas is a different atmosphere, is a different thing. So being off to college, like in Alaska or wherever, your trips home, was it often, or how was your trips home?
Actually, I stayed. I came home one time. When I was in Houston, I stayed. Actually, I left early, and I stayed through the summer. I went through my first hurricane at TSU. It was called Hurricane Ike.
Okay.
And bro, it was so crazy. All my teammates, it was like, we gonna die tonight. We're gonna go buy every liquor in the in the stove, and we gonna go out having a good time. And man, that was an experience, bro. We was in the hurricane, power shut off for a week. I got to experience like giving food and ice and water to like the elderly in Third Ward. So Third Ward is like the hood. It's like the West Side out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember pushing an elderly gentleman. I think he was like 76, and I pushed him like 3 blocks all the way home. He had like food, ice, and he ain't had no power. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, damn. You know, seeing people stuff flooded. You know, no help. You know what I mean? So it just was like, damn. And then Alaska.
Be grateful, people. Be
Definitely.
Man, for real, for real.
It was a humbling experience. Then I went to 3 different schools. Every year I went to a different school because I always got into it with the coach. You know what I'm saying? And in Alaska, I got into it with him because he didn't stick up for the black athlete.
So you was already on that type
You know
of
what I'm saying? So I felt like I was getting shaped in my 3rd school I went to. I was the best player. But because I didn't let him talk to me crazy, he had the assistant coach meet me in the library and tell me he ain't want me on the team. You can keep all your money, all your scholarship for the year. He's scared of you. And I'm like, what? I don't do nothing to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's like, man, he just can't have that around his team. He can't coach when you're around. I said, oh, okay. And then that's when I stopped going. I stopped going to class and everything. And I started like hanging out tough, smoking weed tough. Cause I discovered weed in college. Cause I didn't smoke, drink, nothing in high school. I didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Until I went to Texas Southern. They forced me because they used to be like, man, hey, you a square. But anywhere you go, tell you now, you go stay in a different state, your name is Vegas.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey,
Right.
hey,
Absolutely.
Vegas, you know what I'm saying? You don't smoke, you gonna smoke today. So I remember I was going out out the garage, and it was like, close the garage. I'm like, man, hey man, Tay, you gotta hit this blunt. I'm like, man, I'm not smoking that. He like, come on, Tay, come on. I said, all right, bro, if I hit it, would you get out of my face? He like, yeah. So I hit it. And then next thing you know, we in this expedition, hot boxing. And all I remember, I'm eating cinnamon buns, cereal, chips. It was a wrap. It was a wrap.
Bro, I thought about that bean pie like 6 times already.
I can't wait till y'all taste it, bro. It's gonna.
I've never had it.
It's gonna blow your mind.
We gonna definitely break it down.
I told Tizzle earlier, like, I'm Mayweather when it comes to the bean pie. I'm undisputed. I haven't lost.
He said ain't nobody ever told him it wasn't good.
Never.
So you make yours?
I make them, and then we got a brother. Like, I didn't have time, but it's another brother that make really good bean pie. So I called him up, like, hey man.
And what's his name so people couldn't know?
Brother Jamil Muhammad.
Straight up, man. If people want to get bean pies, you know what I'm saying?
Man, just hit me up. You know what I'm saying?
We go ahead,
hit me in the inbox. I got you. I'm gonna make a way for sure.
Definitely.
I'm gonna make a way for sure.
So after college, taking, the nation and everything seriously, how was that? What was that?
Well, actually, it's almost like when I got home, when I moved back to Vegas, I didn't go to the mosque.
Okay.
I had a girlfriend at the time, and me and her was always going out. I was always with my partners. I was smoking, drinking, but then my uncle started calling me again. Okay. So I see, I was like, oh man, I'm coming. Never go. And then I started going again, and it's almost like stuff started getting, I started reading my books again, and like going to the club started getting old to me. Okay. Or I started smoking and I wouldn't get high. Or I'm drinking and I'm like, for what? You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna never forget, it was July 3rd, 2011. And I was with my partners and we were smoking. And something told me, like, it's time to go to the mosque. I remember I gave my blunt to my partner, and I was like, you know what? It's my last time hanging out with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to find me? I'm gonna be at the mosque. Oh, tell you high, man. You high, bro. I'm like, okay. And then I'm gonna tell a funny story. I ain't gonna say what church, but I always wanted to know when people get touched on the forehead, do they really pass out? Right? I'm gonna tell y'all a story. This is a true, honest to God story. And so I come home from college. This was started my journey fully to the mob. I come home. I stay up all night because I was kicking with my friends before I moved back to Vegas, right? And so we stay up all night. And I'm like, man, when I get home, I'm asleep. So I go home. I dive in the bed. My mama come in, hey, Deante, get up. I'm like, what? She was like, we going to church. I'm like, come on, mama, I just got home. She was like, man, get up. I'm like, all right. So we go, right? And it's this prophet, right? And he going around and he telling people about themselves. Oh, you know, you going through this, you know, God gonna do this, that, and the third. I'm like, oh, shit. So I get up and try to go to the bathroom. So he like, hey, son, come here. I'm like, you talking to me? He was like, yeah, you, come here. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I go to the front.
I already know you last line.
And he was like, hey, man, you here with your mother? I said, yeah. He was like, man, you are a very anointed human being. He's like, man, you really have a gift. I'm like, oh, thank you. He started telling me about this stuff, right? So my mama come up there, right? And she all teary-eyed and stuff. And he was like, let me pray for you. So I always said to myself, if I ever get that chance to find out if boy is really passing out in the front, this gonna be right now. So he get the blessing oil, all the bishops get behind him, they got their hands on his back. And I go up to him, and he got put the blessing oil on, he touched my forehead, he saying the prayer, and he pushed my forehead, right? I don't move. So I'm standing there, right? So he gets some more oil, he started going real hard, right?
Yeah.
And he touched my forehead and all that stuff, and he pushed it. And I stand there. So I'm telling myself right now, I said, listen, Deante, if he pushed my forehead one more time, I'ma fall out.
I knew it. I'm about to fall out.
Word bond to the man. So he get on, they putting his hands on, he getting into it and stuff. Boom, he pushed my forehead, I fall out, bro. Right? So, listen, I'm laying on the ground.
Yeah.
I go like this to look at my mama. She bawling, crying.
Oh yeah,
brother. She thought I caught the ghost. She thought I caught the Holy Ghost. So I'm laying down there. They put the cover on me, right? I'm laying down there, and in the back of my head, I'm like, man, this is bullshit. I'm like, man, hey, on the head, I'm like, man, y'all playing with God. You know what I'm saying? So I lay there for a second, you know what I'm saying, to make it feel like, you know, guess I got my acting on. So I'm laying there for a second, I'm watching everybody. And I get up. I walk out the church, and I ain't never been back since, bro. I'm like, you know, I had to have that experience. That always intrigued me, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for real. Like, you ever seen how they really pass out?
Oh yeah.
Some people get crazy with it. Hey. Throw a towel at you, sprinkle some water on you, and fall out, bro.
Yeah, I wasn't never the best person there. I tell people whenever I go to church, it's like as soon as I walk in, I get tired. For real, I get sleepy. I don't care if it's like a funeral or whatever it is, bro. Man. I always find myself kind of nodding off, man. And then it make me feel like I'm a bad person. Man. So I be like, I'm just stay out of here.
My mom was like, well, you must was born for that, because I always crack jokes in the church. Oh, like as a child. Growing up, my mom
but we got crazy, like, you know, we got crazy sense of humor. It's like, you can't take everything. Yeah. That's what, like, it's crazy, man. You know what I mean? We always kind of like.
I still love my people in the church. Don't get me wrong. You know, I'm just talking about my experience. My experience, bro.
For sure, man. Yeah, I tell people this, right? I'm not even religious. You know, I don't really believe in too much stuff, but I tell people like whatever it is that you believe in that make you become a better person, rock with it. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Whether it's Buddha, whatever, if it make whatever you become a better person, do it, man. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because how somebody else gonna tell you what's speaking to you? They're not you. We all are one on one. So I don't do that. I don't judge nobody on what they got going on. Because I've been around everybody and I've met good dudes who from whatever and bad dudes from wherever, because we are human. So I try not to really get too mixed up into that.
Shit, it took on my way to the joint, it took a Muslim. He was doing the Bible study in jail before he go to the joint. He doing the Bible study in jail. And when he was doing it, I'm like, bro, you not Christian.
Oh, you know the book better than them.
Exactly.
You ain't gotta tell me.
I'm like,
I had Sellies, man. I know that. I know the Quran.
Yeah, like I'm like, you're not Christian. He like, no. I'm like, cause I'm listening to you doing the Bible study, and the way you breaking down the words in the Bible is different than the average Christian. You know, my cousin is. This is what he do. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like, so that kind of made me. That's what intrigued me with the Quran and all that when I got to the joint. Like, that's when I got to reading the Quran and I read every different style of religious books at that point, because I was just like, so I'm the same way when it comes to religion. Like, whatever keep you on the straight and narrow or keep you positive, whatever helps you sleep or do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's real talk.
Because eventually eventually whatever's supposed to happen to you is gonna happen. It's like some light gonna hit for you. Yeah. I could be saying this right now, and then you see me next week, I'll be full-fledged somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because we all evolving, man. Yeah. We all living, man. We all growing, man.
No, real talk.
Man, but before we get to this pod, man, we got this segment, man, called Game for Lames, man.
Okay.
Let the people know some games you acquired in life that you feel that help you dodge some bull, or you feel that help you stay focused.
A big one is think 5 times before I speak.
Straight up.
Meaning like, cause a lot of our people, man, we react. You know what I'm saying? So you got, say it's a heated argument, it's 2 people reacting, ain't nobody listening.
Facts.
So I learned, over the years to rise above my emotions. We say into the thinking of God, but it's into the thinking, into logical thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might say something to piss me off. I'm like, okay, breathe. Think about it. Then I respond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I feel like if a lot of our youngsters did that, man, it'd be a lot more peace.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's one thing.
Not letting your ego let you react.
Absolutely.
Because, like you said, like with the youngsters, and we all go through that when you're young. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I can't let this be the moment that I look like a bitch. I can't let this be the moment that I'm the punk. I can't let this. And it took a lot to even get to the point to start thinking like that. To be like, know what?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because you right. You instantly like, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I have to.
Yeah. And ain't nobody supposed to have that much power over you. If you really think about it, ain't nobody supposed to make you want to risk it all for them, because like the other day I was jogging and I know where my mind is said, like, if 10 niggas hit this corner, right, and I kill all 10 of them and I still died, I still feel like they won.
No, real talk.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Because it ain't nobody life better than mine. You know what I'm saying? And that's how a person is supposed to move, man. And before we do go, I do want to say, shout out to all the work you do. You be all over the city, man. He be in every hood, bro.
I mean, that's why I was so. Listen, I told him, I said, it's so much we can really talk to you about.
Man,
you've experienced life.
For real.
Like at a different level. Like a lot of us are going to die and have not experienced life.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all these years on earth and don't have a moment of experience life. You experienced life.
You've seen a lot.
In almost every aspect. You traveled a lot.
Yeah.
You been around the celebrities. You've been around.
Yeah, you did bodyguard work for hella people.
You know what I'm saying?
How you get into that?
The Nation.
Yeah.
'Cause like you said, you know, with my pops, one thing he always say, you know, I want you to enjoy your childhood. You know, don't grow up too fast. So all I knew was basketball, bro. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to change a tire. All I knew how to do was wash cars and cut grass. You know what I'm saying? So when I didn't want to play basketball no more, you know, it was probably like one of the most trying moments in my life, but it was one of the moments you gonna sink or swim. And I felt like, you know, now when I reflect, I felt like I was getting destined to come to the nation. Because I always had opposition. I was always going against the grain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when he cut me off, you know what I mean, and he told me to figure life out, when I came to the nation, it was like the brothers took me in. And you have brothers from all different, like, you know, some old businesses, you know what I'm saying, the bodyguard work. And I was really interested in that. So they took me under their wing and taught me everything they knew.
Who you didn't did bodyguard work for that you felt like kind of starstruck or like, damn, I'm really right here?
Nobody.
Nobody? No. Everybody usually be like, it is who it is?
Yeah, man. It's man, ain't nobody. I mean, to me personally, we taught in the Nation of Islam, like when you got the knowledge of self, you got the knowledge of God. And then you could go around being yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, you just my brother. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just my sister. So I don't look at you in that light. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I understand what you're doing and how you got there and the puppets behind the hand. So, you know what I mean? They used to, believe it or not, bro, they used to worship the brothers. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about big time celebrities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember the dude that played Eddie Winslow. I don't know his real name. Yeah. We went to a premiere party, right? And we walk in, and it was when the TV show was coming out with it was T.I. What's that producer name? It was from So Def. Jermaine Dupri. There was another one. I think it was Snoop. When they was having that. They had a TV show.
Yeah. The one that D Smoke ended up winning.
So
on Netflix.
So when we get in there, right, and a lot of you not, we walk in. Are you here whispering? Hey man, there go the brothers. Hey man, that's the brothers right there. Yeah. So we walking in, bro, and like really getting treated like royalty. And this dude grabbed my hand, got on his knee and kissed it. And he was like, y'all the real celebrities. We ain't nobody. Y'all the real ones. And so it was just like, damn. I'm like, nah, man, get up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, I'm your brother. No, sir. But it's like, man, because we really stand on the foundation and we going to get the powers that be. You know what I'm saying? On the front line with no weapons. It's just a word. And they see that. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, man, y'all the real ones. No, man, I'm just, you know, I get paid for this.
How do you not make certain topics of conversation, like when people are speaking down on Muslims and stuff like that? Like a lot of people would, in the era of social media, a lot of people would tend to go to social media like, you ain't finna keep talking about my people like this. You know what I'm saying?
Or like, give us some misconceptions though that people have of Muslims. I know that bomb shit you said. You know what I'm saying? You said that earlier. Like,
I want to say we hate white people. We don't believe in Jesus.
Yeah, that's a big one too.
We teach hate. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Farrakhan is pimping us. You know what I'm saying? He got y'all out here selling papers to make him rich. Like all this foolishness, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, when I was young in it, I used to have my sword out. You know what I'm saying? And I used to go to the barbershops and, oh, here come Brother Muhammad. What's the topic today? You know what I'm saying? Sure. And they already know. Somebody say one thing is going down. You know, I'm about to pull my invisible rostrum out, bro. But at the end of the day, that's how I gain a lot of respect too.
Yeah.
And it's because at the end of the day, like, I don't believe in religion either. Like us in the Nation of Islam, religion is something you do religiously every day. So how you do your podcast or whatever you do there, that's your religion. You know what I'm saying? So it's a way of life for us. We're taught a way of life. See, in church, you're taught a traditional type of worship, and it's passed down, and you really don't study because my big mama did it. You know what I'm saying? My mama did it. My grandmama did it. So I'm going to do it. But I was just that one that's like, why are we doing this? Like, I always say, man, it got to be more to life than this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it takes, like, you got to go and search for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One question I got with, so growing up in the church and then going to be in a nation, because it's like this is a thing that I always had with the church, right? That I used to, like, me and my grandma, I would sit with grandma and be like, how do y'all go to this church all the time and sometimes you having a hard time paying your bills and know this church ain't gonna even look out for you? Like, how do y'all go through this? And then with y'all, I see y'all as brothers, y'all always helping each other out.
Yeah.
So coming up with that and then going to there, like, I always just wonder, like, what's the, I wouldn't know what the difference would be for me, because that made me resent church so much. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Me seeing my grandmother having a reverse mortgage. I'm like, how do you got a reverse mortgage and you've been paying these church people since I was a baby? You know what I'm saying? We 30 years in. Like, how did that happen? They couldn't help you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with things like that, do you ever think about that? Like, from when you was a kid and when you come up, like, seeing the difference?
Absolutely. I get to see from both sides. Like you said, I grew up in the church. And real talk, I didn't learn how to be a Christian until I came into the Nation of Islam. And what I mean by that...
A lot of Christians ain't learned how to be a Christian.
what I mean by that, Mr. Farrakhan teaches us that, you know, a good Christian is a good Muslim and a good Muslim is a good Christian. And when you break it down, all a Muslim is one who submits their will to do the will of God.
Right.
And a Christian is one who's anointed with Christ to crush the wicked. So it's just like saying, you say 4 plus 3 is 7. You saying 5 plus 2 is 7. I say 6 plus 1.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we might be taking different paths, but the main goal is to get to 7.
Right.
So I didn't start studying. Like, when I went to church, I didn't read the Bible. I just confessed whatever the pastor said. You feel me? I took his word for it. Right. But I learned how to study when I came to the Nation. You know what I mean? So that's when I really understood, like you said, when you going to the joint, that brother that was breaking down the Bible, we learned how to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so it was
break it down different, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You always been ahead of the game. I want to mention one more thing too, man. Even with your kids, like, you had your son selling popcorn. How old is he?
6 and 1 is 6 and the other one 4.
6-year-old. He had him selling popcorn. You know, they be hustling. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I think that's dope, man. Like, where you get that from? You just want them to know the hustle.
I always basically what I wasn't taught growing up, I want my children to know that and something. Like, I want you to, like, I grew up, hey, Daddy, can I get a couple dollars? Mama, can I get a couple dollars? I'm going to give you the mindset now to learn how to make your own money. Like, if you learn how to sell, you'll never be broke.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And putting that entrepreneurial spirit in them now. Right. Who said you gotta wait till a teenager to go get a job? Like, no. Start creating your own job now. You know what I mean? And so I tell my children all the time, like, you a black God. You know, God just means force and power, putting in motion. So whatever you put your mind to and study, you can do it. Right now. Daddy don't gotta give you money. Yes, I will. But I'm gonna teach you how to go get it. You know what I'm saying? And when I was 13, you 13, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a different story. You going to have way more money than I would. You know, so yeah, I want them to grow up just having that entrepreneurial mindset, that independent mindset, and I want them to compete with the world, like how these young Asians and young Indians, you know what I'm saying? Right. And you see, I study other cultures and other nationalities and see what they do with their children. They don't play with them. They get them ready for life. You know what I'm saying? and because life is not a game. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when you know how we grew up, we playing sports and stuff and hanging out, playing video games, kicking it, not really learning how to survive out here. You know, you don't learn how to survive till you get kicked out your spot.
Right.
Now you got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, I'm not doing that with mine. You know, you gonna know financial literacy, everything.
So would you put them into sports, or if they choose sports, you fine with it, but it's not gonna be nothing you?
I'm not. I do like, you know, cause our people, you know, it's like this image of, you know, black. You tall, you play basketball. You tall, you know, or you long, you big, you should be doing boxing. They always put this in these categories. Like, why can't a black man play the violin? You know what I'm saying?
for real.
Master chess. You feel me? So if he want to play sports, cause it's good for, you know, they social growth and development, how to, you know, communicate, solve problems. You get into it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You figure it out.
You have life, man. You know, we play sports. You have life, man. You be feeling like you go to war with the niggas, man. Your teammates, they'll be your partners.
Yeah, for real. And I still got lifelong friends now, man. And
Me too.
so I definitely put my children in sports, but I'm definitely going to put an instrument in their hand because I know that it unlocks the left side of your brain. You know what I'm saying? So the people that play violin, they work on both sides. You know, my son do crossword puzzles. He do puzzles. You know what I'm saying? So that's always I want his mind to be developing. You know what I'm saying? So he be better than me.
For sure, man. Well, thanks for coming by, man. We about to tear these pies up, man. Probably talk about Tizzle, man. We done, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Well, we give him a live reaction with this pie, so don't.
No, you can cut it. You can cut it.
Cut it,
Yeah,
then we
you
get
can
back
go
to it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pause talk about Tizzle, man. Y'all know what this is, man. We are gone.
Go hard for this. How the fuck you winning if you lost in this? Niggas think they own, so they get off in this. It's easy to get crossed in this. On TOP, we gon' get far from this. Step up in they town and burn it down like I'm a horse.